I always liked the building in Fallout, but I mostly built one settlement per playthrough, so I decided let's build the Commonwealth of the Minutemen. In this video I'm gonna go through all of my settlements that I've done so far. I've gone for a mixture of realistic build and practical because yes, it would be more realistic that most settlers have their own homes, but the building limitations doesn't really allow for it. Also, in most settlements, enemies can spawn inside the settlement, so I had to build some turrets that shoot inwards to defeat attackers, but we will see when we get to. Also, I opted for the heavy laser turrets most of the time, because the machine gun turrets have explosives, like the bullets have explosive damage, and they can kill your settlers, which happened to me. That's why the named settlers at Finch Farms are down 1, and the original settlers in Nordhagen Beach are gone. Well, that happens. Anyway, I'm gonna go through all the settlements I have. At the end, there's a little surprise, a little crazy concept, but yeah. If you liked it and have any questions, just put them down below. I'm happy to help, and let's see if you see something that you like. So we're gonna start off with Nordhagen Beach. This is my latest settlement. I put up a sign and a turret above it. I had the turret on the ground, but it was always shooting into the little hills that you have, so I put it up there. I tried not to build the walls too high to make it too enclosed, but you still need walls. And this is the first house. Here I tried for the first time to have it a bit more separated. So I used some walls to separate. There's a broken toilet, some sleeping quarters, and I tried to separate the bed area and the sitting area. And yeah, that was the first time I tried this a little bit. Then we have a guard post looking out to where the Brotherhood used to be. And we have some toilets right here, and then the common area with the bar and where the settlers can sit and eat, together with the water production, which is good right here in Nordhagen Beach. And this is my favorite house I've built so far, because it is quite separated, and I really like this glass separation. It's really nice, especially when the light shines through. Also, there's the cat of the settlement, and again I have the diner sitting spaces. I really like them. And I use the glowing bottles you get from For Harbor quite often. Then here I have a wall made of concrete, so you can walk up to it and look out. And the fields around. Yeah, I like a nice little settlement, and this settlement also has a dog and a cat. There's the dog. I don't know where he got the bandana from, but he has one now. So yeah, this was Nordhagen Beach, quite small settlement. I like the houses a lot. And Finch Farm. Finch Farm is a bit of an experiment. As you can see, they live quite high up. I wanted to use an elevator, but the settlers don't really use an elevator, so I had to scrap the elevator, and that's why it looks a bit, let's say, funky. Just imagine that the pillars are bigger. I didn't want to scrap all of it. And right here you have the living spaces. Again with the bar, with the diner seating areas, and a clinic and the haircut person. And up here you have the lookouts, which are actually quite nice because you can see a lot and you can see where the attacks are coming from. But the problem is that the turrets from up here don't shoot the enemies because they're too far away. That's why I put 2 turrets down between the generators, and I've tried to build up on the freeway, but the settlers rarely use the stairs, so they don't really use it up there. I forced one up, I gave him a drop, and then he just spawned there, and that's why he's up here. But the other settlers don't really come up here, which is too bad. But yeah, there's a little bar. This is a hole that the settlers sometimes fall through. I have to cover it up. There's a wind turbine up there, which makes sense up here. And here's where the settlers can eat, like the second place where they can eat. But as I said, they rarely come up here, which I have not yet found out how to force them. Maybe I have to get rid of everything downstairs. But yeah, that's a bit experimental. I like the building itself, but that it's up there. Maybe I will change it a bit later. But the idea is quite nice. You can look quite far. Then we come to my favorite settlement, Tenpines Bluff. If you arrive from the south, you will cross over this bridge, which I really like. And there it is. The entrance is built with the scaffoldings, and as you can see, I've used more of the glowing glasses for harbor. You have a general store and a lookout. I have to put in a turret up there, because right there where you look out, some super mutants spawn when they attack. And right here, there is the vendor is there, the traveling vendor. I've placed a real fire over the not usable fire, and this is the guardhouse where the guards watch out. See the entrances right there and on the other side. And I put in the turrets that shoot inward, like I said, because sometimes the enemies just spawn inside the settlement, and then the turrets that shoot outwards are no use. Quite a lot of fields, because they're already in. And then we have the toilet area here. They got the nice shiny ones. And something to wash your hands. And this is the sleeping quarters. I use these trains. And I put a barbecue on the outside where you can look out over the wasteland, which is actually quite nice. And you can look quite far. And then we have the gym down here. And a cooking station. And then the clubhouse, which is basically where you can food and camps. And there's a doctor and a bar. I always try to give the doctors a lab coat and dress all my settlers in Minutemen gear. There's an open space in the wall, because that's outside the building area actually, so I can't close it. But it's still better than not have it. This is the second sleeping area, another train card. You can open it up and look outside, but that might be unpractical if you get attacked, so you can close it. Then you have a guard post on the other side, right here. And I installed a fire trap, and which actually works quite nice if you get attacked from this side. And this is basically Tenpines Bluff. This is my favorite settlement in this whole walkthrough. And now we come to the biggest settlement, Sanctuary Hills, of course. You can already see in the distance the watchtower I have installed, and the Water Empire, which is a classic play in Sanctuary. There is the emergency exit. They don't use the red door, which is nice, so it's always closed, but you can use it as a player. And this is basically how it looks when you arrive. You have a door, McCready is standing guard. And on the other side of the guard post, there you have the guardhouse and a power armor, which they can jump into if they have to defend. That's the idea behind it. A little spot in front of where you can sit at a fire. They can sleep up here, because if you have guard duty, you have to sleep close to the gates. Some weapons they can use. And then pipers can cut your hair. And you have a lot of vendors. I got the woman from the radio station that can be a level 4 vendor for clothes. Workshop area with power armor, and where you can build your armor. Right here. And again, everybody's dressed in Minutemen clothes except for the named NPCs. This is basically the marketplace with dog meat and the barbecue, the anti-radiation things. Right here you have a lot of space to sit around and talk, and a bunch of unique clothes. This is father's clothes right there that are shown, and you can sit up here and watch over the settlement. That is basically a chill out area for the settlers, and you have the workout area right next to it, one of the workout areas, and yeah, food everywhere, a Brahmin. And this is basically the watchtower, and you can chill outside and barbecue. This is here where you can sit and relax, and on the other side there you have all the nougat flavors I could do to this point. There can the people sit and eat with the bar. Up here they sleep. It looks very military style, which is on purpose, because this is basically the headquarters of the Minutemen, where they all get trained, so they sleep like this. And up here is the watchtower, again barbecue, I really like those, and power armor for the guards to jump in, sleeping arrangement for them, and you can watch up here. And this guy basically sees everything. As soon as somebody crosses the bridge, they are done for. You can grab the fat man and nuke them. And this turret kills every attacker. Like the place down there you saw is where every attack comes from, and the turrets work really well. I have some shorts on my channel for that, so they are perfectly placed. Then you have here the first water empire part. I built this little walk around so you can go to all of them and basically get the water. From a realistic standpoint, you don't have to do it, of course, in game. And here's a little tool shed that has no electricity. It's basically just these glowing lamps that are really nice when it's dark. And here people can sleep that maintain the water. They can go down to the water or visit this was the first part of the water productions. I haven't closed up this side yet. I haven't found a way to make it look good, but the part up here is basically closed. They have a turret, of course, up there, and a entrance or exit on the back side with a trap that zaps everyone that goes inside, and there can the guards sit when they're guarding the back entrance. Yeah, and this is Sanctuary, the largest of my settlements. It's always difficult to build around the existing houses, for me at least, to make it look good. That's why I pulled it quite back, and this everything here you see is basically the fighting area when enemies attack, and that works quite well because the turrets take everybody out before the settlers can even engage. And the last place I wanted to show is the newest one that started a bit as a joke, but kind of makes sense, and that is a prison at Starlight Drive-In. It started out as a shooting gunnery because of course there are no prison cells, but I use the cages as prison cells. And here's where the Minutemen basically put people away that are too dangerous. Yeah, it's built completely out of concrete wall except for the side where the garden is for the people that live here. And when we go inside we can see of course it can be closed. This is where the guards eat and relax if they have to relax. There's a power armor frame, there are guard towers, toilets of course, and this, yeah, take a look, they are functional. And up here is where the guards sleep and work, and they have quite a nice view over the entrance. So if somebody tries to escape or attack the prison, they have to come this way, and you can see it from up here. And this is basically the prison yard. This would be the prison cells. Of course, it's not really, but the guards on duty would sleep here. They can train here. They can watch out over the prisoners. And they can, yeah, basically maintain the prison. Of course, it's more like a shooting gallery. Like I said, you have to make do with what you have. You don't have prison cells, but yeah. You can go inside. I have built it around this little puddle. It started more as a straight up farming tool for gunners, but I pretend it's a prison. It's quite nice. So anyway, this is the first part of the Commonwealth of the Minutemen. They have their own logo, as you can see. I will continue and try to build up every settlement in a meaningful way. So if you liked it, leave a comment. If you have a question for some building, ask me. I will try to help, and thanks for watching.